work, and of course, there's a detour and traffic. So after after a nice commute to work and a long, crazy, tiring day, I have to be in traffic. So, like, if I'm gonna be in traffic, why don't I chop some game with my people? Okay, so this lesson that I'm going over, I talked in great length with this subject with my daughter a lot. I talked to my daughter about this a lot when she was younger, and I tried my best to give her the principles and the reasoning to be able to understand people. Now, one of the things I told my daughter a long time ago, my daughter's she's 17, so I've been stressing this to her the majority of her life. What I've been trying to tell my daughter, and what I will tell you, and this is so relevant in so many different ways. Um, Being a nice person doesn't automatically equate to a person being good or genuine. And consequently, if you're not a nice person, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. Now, don't get me wrong. People like to be around nice people, and that's why I'm trying to separate or compartmentalize the idea that um not come on, bro, that nice people aren't necessarily good, and people that are not good or that are not nice aren't necessarily not good. Why do I say this? I say this because a lot of times people that are bad they could be fun, they could be spontaneous, or they can fake nice. They can fake nice. Like, a lot of times people that are just terrible people, they are exciting. They are what appears to be nice, but they have to be like that because that's how they entice people in. That's how they reel you in with that short-term excitement, with that short-term dopamine. But I always, not to be funny, but I'm leery of people that are overly nice. Not to say there's something wrong with it, only because the majority of people that I've met that played nice are some of the worst people, but that's just my personal bias. I still believe in giving everybody their own chance to do good or bad by me based off of their own, way of dealing with me. Now, I want to move this into dating. I want to move this or transition this into the idea of dating because, this is how a lot of women get fooled or fool themselves into getting taken advantage of because, again, it is very easy. It is very easy as a man for the short term to make a woman smile. Like, if I'm a man and I'm only interested in the short term physical fun, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna dig deeper. I'm not gonna try to get to know you. I'm gonna stay on the surface. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be fun because I'm not in for the long run. I don't have to know who you are. We don't have to have deep conversations for me to be fun. Matter of fact, it's harder for me to be quote unquote fun with a person when we connect on a deeper level. Because to me, that bullshit, game when you first meeting somebody, that's not real. I mean, it's not real. It's infatuation. Most of the time when we first meeting somebody, we are infatuated by how they look, or if us men, we're infatuated by women's body, how if they're voluptuous, if they're curvaceous, we're infatuated by that. I mean, human beings, we are slaves to our biology so much to where, before Africa was conquered by Europeans, it was almost families pick spouses, not individuals, because men and women are so lustful, it is nearly impossible for an individual man and an individual woman to find who is right for them in the long term, because biologically we are so infatuated by body parts, and our hormones are raging so much that I promise you, when men and women are in the peak of their fertility, it is impossible to make sound decisions. Men that are extremely aroused do not think with the same clarity and logistical um uh with the same logistical, I would say, what's the word, certainty. We operate in a different space when we are in lust versus when we are in control of our logic. When we are in our 20s and sometimes even early 30s, we are so enraged with hormones that, oh my God, all we can think about is how, we how can we can get to the sexual gratification. And it's not that we want to be these guys that are just thinking about this. It's biology, just the same way that women biologically need to feel desired, whether they want to admit it or not. Women have a biological need to feel desired. And no matter what women say, after a woman has a child, it's almost like a permanent insecurity in a woman, because no matter what she says or how she gassed up or how that waist trainer is, she knows that her body is not the same as before she had a child. And I might even go as far as saying that this is going to sound maybe a little, it's going to be a little rough, but after a woman's body is destroyed by childbirth, it's easier for the man whose child destroyed her body to love her. If your body is destroyed because you brought another man's baby into the world, it's not going to mean nothing to me. If the woman I had a baby with, if she has stretch marks or if she has something wrong, I'm always going to look at that differently as a man, because my child is what did that to you. My child. I have a reason as a man to be a part of your body being changed. But as a man stepping into another woman for children that he doesn't know, those scars don't mean nothing. It's like battle wounds. It's like if soldiers went through a fight together and they scarred together, those scars, if you guys went through a battle and you banked, it's going, when you look at each other's scars, it's going to remind you of that. It's going to bring you together more. I can't look at a woman's stretch marks who's had another man's baby and feel a connection to that. I can look at the woman who's had my child and look at her stretch marks in a certain way. Why? Because I knew what her body was before my child did that to her body. So, hey, I'm going to say it again, like, nice as a person, just simply being nice as a person does not equate to being a good person. Not being nice does not equate to just simply being a bad person. And I know it's difficult for people to get past, like, emotions are fickle, and that's why it's not good to make decisions based off of emotions. It's not good as a man to, I'm going to marry this woman based off of how she makes me feel. Okay, feelings are fickle. Feelings can change with the drop of a light. Feelings can change based off of nutrition. You can get hungry and feel completely different about something. You can get irritated and feel completely different. So you need somebody that, quote unquote, make somebody who's dead to something other than self, man and woman. Men, if you are dating or thinking about being with a woman, it's the long term that that changes everything. I mean, again, I've known people that played nice. Like, I've met people that when I first met them were just some of the nicest people in the world. But then as I got to know them, some of them were very conniving, some of them were sneaky, some of them were manipulative and tried to use that quote unquote pseudo niceness. I know sometimes people that are not nice, that are, crash, or, just sometimes people that are not nice are not pleasant to be around. But if that person that is not nice is truthful and not, you know, and not, it's not to be not nice and to be mean are two different things. You could be not a not nice person, but not be mean. Like you could be not nice and just be honest. If somebody asks you an honest question, you could tell them the truth. That's not the same as being mean. But like the way society is looking at things now is that we equate not nice to mean. That's just how we equate stuff, but that's not a good comparison. It's not a good comparison. So